cunning craftiness and the tools of manipulation. While many are aware of the age-old tactic of divide and conquer, in many cases even awakened people can get bamboozled by their devilishly clever tricks to hijack humanity. When you realize their ultimate goal is to control our consciousness, using every possible means to accomplish this, these ploys become more and more evident. The simplest way to influence and steer our thinking and ultimately the preponderance of our collective consciousness is via the media. The reason people are having such profound life and perspective changes is the availability of true knowledge outside the mass media that has exponentially proliferated in recent years. So many are going through this awakening process now, and it's wonderful to behold. It's clearly affecting every sector of society, but don't let your guard down or be too quick to declare victory. The battle rages on. More so now than ever. That the powers that shouldn't be are aware of this mass awakening, you can be sure. So if you were them, what would you do to hijack this mass movement of awakening consciousness? Where would you set your sights to dispel and confuse and sidetrack those waking up? Besides stepping up your disinformation and mind control techniques, or the monstrous Machiavellian solution Brzezinski proposed when he told the CFR today it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control them, would you target the alternative research and independent media communities perhaps? Deception exposing their agenda of deceit and subjugation amongst the many tools in their war chest are misinformation, obfuscation, misdirection, omission and denial, all fomenting confusion which are further exacerbated by massive fear and tension generation. To further amplify their nefarious intentions, they put us on an economic treadmill coupled with a financial stranglehold, and then take it all to new depths using occult technologies to further advance their plan. All the while they're bombarding our health, immune and nervous systems while attempting to destroy our very home, our planet. Most of these tactics have been honed over centuries and have worked masterfully well. Until now. This time they're starting to get worried. A growing amount of us are not responding to their poisonous technologies. Just look at what this indicates. It's clear how much they fear our power and just how resilient and resourceful we are. Notice the lengths to which these psychopaths have to go to try to muffle our humanity and hijack our conscious awareness. Always remember, what they fear is our ultimate discovery of what's really going on here and that we'll rise up against them. But most of all, realizing who we truly are and the potential power we each possess. That ultimate realization in each individual is the game changer. And they know it. That's why the full-on awakening of every individual is the most important battlefield and challenge to face and overcome. Be forewarned, if you want to go all the way, it's going to mean letting go of a lot of cherished beliefs. False hopes and false choices. This is where the divide and conquer tactic is its most subversive. Everyone is looking for manifestations of change. Unfortunately, many still look to the message they're being told via these same controllers. When it looks like one crooked leader is being exposed and deposed and even replaced, we tend to put on the rose-colored glasses and think, good. It's about time. Maybe this guy will stem the tide and turn things around. How often do you see that happen? It's a ploy. They're notorious for playing both sides of any conflict. In fact, as we've all become aware, even seeming powerful movements that appear to have the right message are more often than not controlled opposition at play. That's the extent of their infiltration of humanity and how they've always worked. This is why they love the political circus. As long as humanity looks to the next leader to change their world, we've lost. They're very good at keeping that game going and everyone's attention fixated on this public circus of false choice. As we've seen time and again, so-called opposing candidates are members of the same secret or not-so-secret society or brotherhood. When they stand up and accuse or even expose each other, it's all part of the game. We all know Bush and Kerry are skull and bones, but how many know Corbyn and Blair are both members of the Fabian Society? So when Blair screams at Corbyn, know what's really going on. Look for it. While some of these various ideologies may seem better than another, they're all part of the same globalist agenda towards a centralized, socio-communist totalitarian regime. Titan 2 social engineering and metadata mapping. We know they're tracking not only our every move, in many cases, but most of all the trends in the human domain that are appearing via massive computerized analysis systems. This is in order to know where to set the next trap, the next sideshow and distraction or opportunity to cause infighting, as well as what else they can get away with without too strong of a reaction by the public. What we're up against is that pervasive and comprehensive, and until you realize that you may be another sitting duck waiting for the next shotgun blast of distraction and disempowerment. This is often why they tell us what they're doing or about to do to us. It's not only programming people to more readily accept whatever they have for us when idiots, but it's to gauge our reaction or possible reactions and adjust their tactics accordingly. Think the Snowden NSA revelations, information that was available way before he came out with his leaks, information that was ignored by the mainstream media before. Or WikiLeaks, giving the impression the manipulators' plans are being diverted or thwarted in some way because selective information came out. See how disempowering that can be? Not only does it funnel our attention in certain tripped-off directions, even if true, but people think something's being done and certainly someone will respond to this and take responsible action. Someone of course is subconsciously attached to the usual suspects in positions of power, be it political or the media. But always someone else. After all, it's been exposed. To overcome all of this we need to be very awake, and very aware, and always remain on guard. What we choose to engage in, either by defaulting to some belief or point of view or what we oppose or encourage, is so very important. Energy flows where attention goes. This is all important to keep front and center in our consciousness. It takes a detached attitude and a deep love for real, honest, and empowering truth. What we spend our time doing and thinking about is the best judge of who we are and where our energy is going. That's why they love skirmishes, pitting anyone and everyone they can against anything and everything in some form of useless struggle. It not only hijacks our energy into a futile endeavor while it drains us, but actually empowers those very mechanisms while lowering our conscious vibration. This is how it all works. It runs on energy. Our energy. When we wake up to that and withdraw our participation in their wicked game of throngs, their entire system will crumble and dissipate. But we have some work to do to get to that critical mass. We need to really shake their foundations and erupt in the replacement paradigm knocking on the doors of our consciousness. And that work is all about consciously aware, empowering information sharing, and most of all becoming a fully consciously aware person ourselves. Otherwise we'll only reinforce the old in some fashion or another. Lucisly Gospel understanding the Luciferian agenda. As I said above, ultimately all of this is a war on consciousness. They need to siphon off our energy, so getting us to focus on their machinations is paramount. We have to remember, these parasitic psychopaths are profoundly spiritual at some level, and they're very aware that those of us who are awake are most of all a spiritual force to reckon with, as is every human being. So how do you hijack that one? Well, with a false light, of course. Set up and promote something that appears to be light when in fact it taps into the absolute opposite force, basically summarized as the darkly driven Luciferian system. Simply disguise it and wrap it in all the right terms and tons of mind-manipulating occult imagery and impressive ritual you possibly can. Just look at all the ritual royalty is into, and people lap it up. Same with political pomp and circumstance, never mind the insane lengths religions go to. And of course the people fall for it. That's what it's designed to do, as well as to channel people's attention while they broadcast their false light to the max into those very masses, totally disrupting their true innate knowledge to the contrary. They've gotten so bold and brazen, and I might add cocky, that we're seeing these Luciferian rituals at major sporting and music events, in advertising, movies and animation, as well as art and literature. What's sad is the younger generation don't see it coming. The older generation has its own ongoing sidetrack, the carefully manipulated New Age movement, fully infiltrated with Luciferianism as well as immobilizing, mesmerizing and energy siphoning techniques and technologies. The massively manipulated music scene since the 60s, the psyop drug culture, and the takeover by an occult Hollywood dutifully play the tunes of the Luciferian Pied Piper ad nauseum. And how many have woken up to it? But the numbers are increasing by the hour. It's very important people understand the occult, its language, symbolism and history. All occult means is hidden. But what's being hidden is the issue, and much of it is clearly explained and laid out for all to see in open documentation and provides the tools to understand what is unfolding before us. The UN, for example, is loaded with the Luciferian agenda. Search the Lucis Trust or Maurice Strong and other such figures cloaked in Strong's obviously manipulative climate change agenda is a Luciferian-driven New Age thrust that will open your eyes. Or how about the occult-drenched Tomorrowland festivals? If this is new to you, take a look at the official trailer of the upcoming, renamed Tomorrow World Festival in Atlanta. It's game on for these psychopaths and they're harvesting all they can while they can. Don't you be one of them. Inform others. Awareness brings empowerment and freedom. Conclusion: the war for our consciousness, both individual and collective, rages on. We cannot sidestep this reality. Just the EMF attacks on our very brainwaves are enough to convince anyone that something of this nature is going on. When we realize their intention is to actually steer us en masse through our collective consciousness, one that is morphing by the minute, we begin to understand the struggle we're each enduring. While many of us are manifesting more love and true light and empowering information, energizing the quantum field in the right direction, they continue to try to counter as well as control these vibrations. But only at their level. The fact of the matter is that their vibrational levels are not ours, but there are points of intersection on this earth plane, which is what you are no doubt feeling. Most can palpably sense this resultant tension and these confusing signals on this plane. It's not a time to look inside for where this is coming from, or make hasty decisions or conclusions based on this dissonance. Rather, we should transcend this imposed reality to new heights where all is clear and we can objectively observe this struggle for what it is. Let the truth empower you and love be your guide. Never lose your empathy or compassion. Keep on despite all of their weirdness and dark designs. There's no way these evil entities can win anything. They just make a mess everywhere they go. Let's put them in the past and let freedom reign. Happy manifesting. Don't let all this nonsense get you down. Respond consciously and you'll keep your peace. An inspiration. Love always, Zen.